Hi everyone, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review Jason Bourne, the fourth film in the Jason Bourne series. There's a lot of expectation, a lot of excitement for this movie, especially for someone like me, a Las Vegas native, where the whole entire third act was shot in Las Vegas, on the Las Vegas Strip. So there was a lot of attention on this movie. They even had the world premiere here. And so there's a lot of pressure on me, from local critics, from fans, what I thought about this movie. And I saw it last night and I thought I'd sleep on it because there was a lot to take in with this movie. Because first of all, I don't think there's any better films than the Bourne series. I mean, I think they are the perfect action films. I actually prefer them over the modern James Bond. I really do. And what I really admired about the films is that their realism, every fight sequence, I mean, you believe what's going on. It's not Hollywood action. It's not like Hollywood fighting. So I always thought that the Bourne series really had to step the bar up for James Bond and any other action film that came along. And I thought this is just the best role for Matt Damon too. Well, he does a lot of great roles, but I mean, he's just really has that identification with being Jason Bourne, So here he hasn't played it for a long time. And, can you get back in that seat, in that car seat and drive this thing again, like capture old glory like you did before? I was one of the few critics or few people that liked, Bourne Legacy. I thought Jeremy Renner was great. We passed the baton. I thought we were going to have more films with that. But something brought Matt Damon back to play Jason Bourne. Obviously, director Paul Greengrass is back on board. So we're going to try to capture lightning in a bottle again. Did it happen? Okay, let's begin with the action. Of course, the action sequences are just amazing. They really are. They're staged. There's this opening sequence in Athens where they're having a riot, and there's this motorcycle chase that goes, in and out of these crowds that are just amazing to see. How do they stage these things? I mean, they must have taken weeks and weeks and weeks to shoot these action sequences. And also some of the hand-to-hand combat stuff. Again, amazing. But action sequences are never in question with a Bourne film. It's always about the story. And the first three films was this great character arc, this great trilogy that just tied up everything from losing his memory to losing his girlfriend to, just it all, finding out what Treadstone was and returning home. All of that. It was such a great trilogy, and that story just carried all the way through. So now where's Jason Bourne going to take us with Jason Bourne? It's very weak because there's two storylines going on right now. I'm not giving any spoilers away. And if you think I am, watch the trailer. I'm not giving any spoilers away. So Jason Bourne has been off doing his own thing, living incognito, hiding from the world. And Julia Stiles comes back and it's in the trailer saying, hey, what do you want from me? I'm living my life in secret and I'm happy, Well, I don't know if he's happy. He's beating up people, in these fight club kind of things. But Stiles says, look, you need to look at these files. You need to find out something about your past, something about your dad. So that is his whole total motivation to find out exactly what he was doing in Treadstone, all of the background. Again, beating a dead horse for Treadstone. Again, it's like we've already wrapped all of that up. Why are we going back to that? Give Jason Bourne a new task, something. So anyway, he's on this journey to find out more about Treadstone and his past, which Treadstone's already gone. There's a new Iron Hand, a new whole segment of the Black Ops that's being born again under the guise of the CIA director played by Tommy Lee Jones. Now, also with Tommy Lee Jones, this gruff, he has that one-shot character he plays all the time. He always plays that, he always plays that one grumpy old man through everything he does. He doesn't bring any kind of dynamic to the role at all. He just barks orders in that quiet kind of jerkweed kind of face he does. I'm sorry if I'm getting too personal there. I just thought he was totally miscast in this, okay? Then second, we have the second story going on where this internet guy has this whole new app that's coming out, this whole thing about global privacy that's going global. God, how do I even explain that? Anyway, there's this big internet conglomerate guy that's a real young kind of entrepreneur that's going to launch this real big event, this real big app. And Tommy Lee Jones, of course, the CIA is all behind it. He is. So you've got this whole thing going on, these two stories going on that just really don't ever merge together. They don't make any sense except the climax when everything comes together in Las Vegas. That's the only reason. So this other story that's going on with this internet guru, and here's another thing, they're doing this kind of real big deal. And he comes to Tommy Lee Jones, the director of the CIA, and says, you know what, I thought this over, I'm out. Here's this late 20-something, early 30s, telling the CIA director, I'm out. Does that even make sense? You really think you can get out of this the guy who runs Black Ops, the one who makes people disappear, you can just show up and go, hey, you know what, I changed my mind. This is getting to be too big and too risky. I'm out. So I'm going to take my billions you made me and just going to go, nah, I know what you're thinking. So what about Las Vegas? What about the final shot in the film, the final sequence where they have this incredible car chase? It was a big event here in Las Vegas. They shut down the strip, the Las Vegas Strip, for weeks. They shot this incredible car chase. We have the old Riviera Hotel that's being imploded, that's being destroyed because they're making way for a new convention center expansion. And of course, they crash, they use the Riviera in all its glory, which is totally cool. Now, I'm one of these guys that really looks for continuity in the strip. If we're sitting and going down the strip and you're talking to me and the camera switches, all of a sudden we're a different place on the strip in the background. And I was watching, this is just a personal note, okay? It didn't detract, from the average person watching. But, if you're driving on the strip and you're nowhere near all these different hotels and all the cuts, they're just miles apart. And that just bothered me. I remember talking to Todd Phillips, the director of The Hangover. I said, you were really good with keeping continuity in Las Vegas. You were the only one that every time you would switch cameras and stuff, it was in real time. You were doing that. He said, you know what? I made an effort to do that because a lot of Las Vegas films, they're all over the place. Now, that was just me. So the car chase at the end was pretty cool. It really was. I mean, I'm glad to see Las Vegas front and center in one of the biggest films of the year, one of the biggest movie franchises. And not only that, we had the world premiere here. So Matt Damon, Alicia Vikander, and all them showed up. Oh, Alicia Vikander, I forgot to tell you about her. She works with Tommy Lee Jones. She's one of these computer experts that works with the CIA. And she's just, I don't know if she was from Ex Machina or what. She was just robotic through the whole movie. So that whole storyline with Jason Bourne, I wanted something a little bit different than the standard, he didn't even have lines in the movie, maybe 20, 25 lines in the whole 2-hour movie. So this was not the best Jason Bourne film. I'm sorry to say, it's not a terrible film and it's not a great film. It was just didn't grab hold of me like the previous Bourne films did. Like the Jeremy Renner film, that even grabbed me more. I wanted more for Jason Bourne to do something besides restaging everything we saw in the previous 3 films. I'm not kidding. Give me a little something different. And his storyline about who killed my daddy, that was it. That was his motivation of coming out of hiding and going after Tommy Lee Jones. It just really did. It was lackluster. It really was. And I wanted to love it, because it's front and center with my city, my hometown, right there in the 3rd act. And shutting down the strip was no easy task. I mean, it was a big deal. But the movie just kind of lays there. All right, so I'm ready for the hate to begin, all the comments and all the emails, and because I got it from the critics last night. Oh my gosh, they were surrounding me and they go, what'd you think? They thought I was going to click. People are saying, oh, 10 stars out of 5, and oh, this was great. And I'm like, guys, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It just kind of laid there. I expected a lot more from Matt Damon and Jason Bourne. I really did, and I didn't. I got the same old thing that I had before. You can't go home again. You really can't. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Check out my podcast on iTunes. And if you like what I said about Jason Bourne or you disagree, comment below, share, subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. Take a look at that chase at the end. It's Las Vegas Strip in all its glory. Come visit us, please. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.